Hello, PMI friends. Welcome all of you for this fireside chat on the ethics navigating the moral compass of everyone. And then thanks for this wonderful opportunity. I would like to thank Anvesha, Head of Community, and Mr. Abhishek Sharma and Supriya from the partners who are supporting this entire all hands call. So I myself am Dr. Parvez Alam. I'm the region mentor for South Asia. I used to be volunteer. I'm volunteering for PMI for last 16 years. I started my volunteer career with PMI Chennai chapter. I was a former president of PMI Chennai chapter before taking over this role as a region mentor for South Asia. And now I would like to introduce Mr. Kannan Ganesan, and a veteran in PMI and also a Chennai chapter volunteer before, and who is currently at PMI Ethics Advisory Team. Welcome, Kannan, for this.
Thank you, Parvez.
Yeah.
It's a really pleasure and honor to be here along with you.
Yeah.
I thank PMI Asia, South Asia also for this opportunity. As you rightly mentioned, I have been a volunteer for PMI for last 25 years. I started in 2001 at a Chennai Potential Chapter founding board member.
Oh.
And then was a part of Chennai Chapter board for about 7 years before moving to global role. I had a wonderful opportunity within PMI to contribute to the PMI global portion for last 18 years continuously. I've been part of LIAG Leadership Institute Advisory Group, Virtual Community Advisory Group, Financial Service Industry Community of Practice Member Advisory Group, and then about 6 years on the Ethics Review Committee, and then on the NOMCOM for 2 years, and now I'm on the 3rd year of Ethics Advisory Team. It has been a great pleasure working with PMI. Continuous learning, lots and lots of learning and contribution.
Thank you for the good introduction about yourself. Many people are not aware of you. They now got introduced more about you. Now, Kannan, now we are having this ethics as navigating the moral compass as a primary topic for today. So, what do you feel ethics in leadership role? Because the audience today, are majority of them are chapter board members, AVPs and volunteers. How ethics is relevant to them and the chapter leadership?
Basically, when you are a chapter leader, members are not looking at you only for providing them solution. They are looking at guiding them whenever there are issues, whenever there are whistleblower type of incidents, and you need to guide them on how to go about in resolving the issues and mainly guiding them. PMI provides a lot of tools in guiding the leaders in the ethics way. In this session, I can talk about few of such tools which will be helpful to the chapter.
Yeah, that will be very interesting for many of us to know. Yeah, Kannan, where do you think the ethical process start in project management?
Everything starts with the PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. It's built on 4 pillars: responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. Ethics is only as good as words in the page unless it is practiced and fully followed. As leaders, our job is not to memorize the ethical code, but to ensure that our members know about its existence and it is there for their protection. PMI provides such tools, which we'll be talking more in the following.
Yeah, I think you rightly said it is not in a paper, it's a walk the talk, and then everyone has to follow the ethics in their day-to-day process. Yeah, thanks for clarifying it. And then actually many of us are very new to this ethics process in PMI. How it is structured? We understand there are 2 teams in PMI as a global volunteering committee. So how does it work? Can you please differentiate what are the difference between these 2?
Sure, Parvez. Ethics is controlled by the legal department, and 2 teams are dedicated teams are there to support the legal department. One called Ethics Advisory Team, EAT. Another is called Ethics Review Committee, ERC. The function of the Ethics Advisory Team is primarily to support the legal team in understanding stakeholders' needs and create artifacts, documents, and educational material to propagate ethics among the PMI members. It creates new documentations for them. It guides them on how to handle ethical situations. On the other hand, Ethics Review Committee is primarily to deal with complaints received on ethical violation from the concerned members. They do the jury type of a job. They investigate, find out if there is any ethical violation. If so, accordingly, create sanctions or that. It's basically the judicial part of the legal team that supports PMI and the ERC.
So in a nutshell, EAT sets the policies and procedures, guidelines, whereas ERC is actually interrogates whether it is implemented or not when the case comes up.
Somewhat like that. Okay, I would not say ethics insight team create the policy.
Okay.
It supports propagating the policy. The policies are set forth by the PMI, its legal department, taking into input a lot of surrounding and input from volunteers. Once the policy is framed by the PMI, the role of PMI's advisory group is to make sure the policy is spread across all the organization, all the members know about its existence, know about its usage, and how it should be implemented in the day-to-day life.
Okay.
As you rightly mentioned, the ERC team is to make sure it is properly executed, and if there is a violation, to take action against who are violating the ethics policy.
Yeah. Maybe in a very layman language, what is the difference between EAT and ERC? Can we say it is like a judge, it's like an advocate? So can you want to come up with any?
ERC is like a court.
Okay.
A case is filed, they investigate, they argue, and then decide whether a violation has happened or not happened.
Yeah.
If a violation has happened, then appropriate punishment or disciplinary proceeding is initiated.
Yeah.
The role of EAT is simply spreading the message, making awareness, creating materials so that ethics can be propagated and it can be implemented across PMI members and the organizations.
Oh, yeah. Ethics more like ERC is more like a court. But we used to say our volunteer escalation framework, like if you find any issues, first you need to go to the president, then you go to region mentor, then we go to the South Asia team. This is the escalation framework we have in general process. So is that like only ethics related complaint should go to you, or ethics related complaint can come to the president and region mentor also, or it should be restricted only to ethics team?
A right question. Basically, when there is a complaint, there are certain criteria that need to be taken into account. The ERC or the Ethics Review Committee handles only complaints received against covered individuals. The definition of a covered individual, it is against the PMI members, individual PMI members, PMI certification holders, applicants for PMI certification, and PMI volunteers. As I mentioned, it's only for against individuals, not against an organization. If there's an issue in a chapter, it is not finding fault with the chapter itself. One individual in the chapter found to be violating the code, then the ethics ERC comes into play. A complaint is lodged, and then that is progress as the investigation and final result.
Yeah. Thanks for the wonderful thing. As a region mentor in the last my 2 months of my tenure, I am getting a lot of conflict complaints. Okay. So now I will segregate ethics related, how to handle, of course, based on your support.
Many chapter related issues are handled by the chapter resolution groups.
Yes, you are right. I think many things are handled at chapter level. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, Kannan. So now when there is a whistleblower activity in the chapter, how they have to approach ERC?
Recently, PMI has updated the PMI ethics process. As per the 2026 guidelines, the process is structured to protect both the integrity of the profession and the individual reporting the concern. So before moving to the next step, first step we have to identify what is the right path. If it is an issue related to a chapter, like local policy, violation of or disagreement between members, then it has to be handled with the chapter resolution gate. If the whistleblower complaint is against any individual that has violated the mandatory standard, there are two standards in the PMI ethics policy. One called mandatory standard, another called aspirational standard. ERC mainly handles with violation of the mandatory standards. As an example, when you find a code violation, like a pinpoint specific code that is violated by the individual, then collect proper artifacts, find out your complaint is as good as the documentation. If the documentation is not good enough, then we will not be able to proceed further. So all emails, financial records, screenshot, etc. need to be saved and protected. Then you have to identify witnesses who can corroborate the complaint. As a next step, it has to be the complaint need to be formally lodged with the ERC. The form that is available in the PMI org website need to be used. It becomes formal, and then once the complaint is submitted, a PMI staff review them for its completeness and whether it is applicable to the ERC team. If it is found to be a valid one, then the PMI ERC chair along with the council review the complaint, and if it is a fit complaint to be inquired, then they form a review team. Once the review team finds some merit in the complaint, then they form a hearing team. Then the hearing team really does the inquiry.
Okay.
It contacts the complainant, it talks to the respondent, all the witnesses. Then they determine whether the code has been violated based on the evidences provided and the hearing they conducted. Once the hearing is done, they submit their results. The results could be either dismissal of the case itself if there is not enough evidence, or they can do a private reprimand, a public reprimand, or even suspension or revocation of their membership or certification, depending on the gravity of the violation.
Oh, that is very, very nice way of you articulated the whole process in a very, very simple way. PMA friends, I think Kannan has explained very briefly about the whole process. I'm sure many of us are not aware about this before, but yes, I think it's very useful, I'm sure.
One more thing I would like to add. PMI explicitly prohibits retaliation against who files an ethics complaint in good faith. So, whoever files the complaint, they need not fear that there will be retaliation.
Yeah.
And also another crucial note, you cannot file an anonymous complaint.
Oh.
ERC will have to identify the complainant and it will be shared with the respondent. So there is no anonymous complaint in place.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I think we used to get a lot of anonymous complaints sometimes. I think but the complaint need not to worry about what will happen to them if they raise it, right? I think that assurance is given here.
Right.
Yeah. That's
if there is any backlash from the chapter after a person has made a complaint, PMA it becomes another violation.
Yeah.
If the backlash person, whoever's creating the backlash, will be processed to the ERC.
Yeah.
As a violation.
Yes. So the genuine complaint has a protection.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what you're saying.
Right.
Well, Kannan, now I wanted to ask you a question on behalf of the entire audience here. So what support or what goal they have to do as part of this ethics as a chapter volunteer or a board member or AVP? How it is relevant for them?
Thank you, Parvez, for the question. Chapter leaders are the front line. When a member feels the situation is being handled dishonestly, or they may come to them first, the chapter leader's role is not to judge or jury, but to be a bridge. You point them to the ethics resources on pmi.org. Encourage them to use EDMF type of tools. By doing this, you are not only solving their problem, you are creating a culture of integrity within the local region.
Yeah, so that's very nice. And then now I'm sure everyone has understand what is the role when it comes to the ethics issue. In fact, I met Kannan in LIVPM, Global LIVPM in Dublin, along with Anvesha, head of community. We were all discussing that how we'll propagate this to the entire region 11 South Asia team, board members. And then that's how this came up, this fireside chat idea came up, thanks to Anvesha. So I think we started our duty first, and then we expect every chapter board members to do it.
Yeah. Our team is here to help you whenever you need. Whenever you need in your board meeting or any chapter or leadership meeting, we are willing to be present and help members learn ethics and help them use the tools.
So friends, so I also wanted to use this wonderful opportunity to share you a few updates about these new things in PMI. I was in LIVPM in Dublin last month, and then PMI has come up with a lot of new initiatives. And here is one such content innovation platforms, which you can see. It has 8 pillars, and many of you familiar with few pillars like PMI, Agile Alliance, Global Alliance, and Cognilytica, So there is a CPAMI certification under AI. So there is a green project management certification and so on. So except product management and change management in this pillar, 8 pillars. So all the 6 pillars have a PMI team working on this. And we also have a few global volunteers associated with that. So I also wanted to share you in the subsequent slides about who are the global volunteers from our South Asia region. So before doing that, I also wanted to say, I'm sure many of you feel that after chapter volunteer, what is next? In fact, Kannan Ganesan is a very live example. After Chennai chapter, he was a vice president in Chennai chapter. He never became a president, but he went into a global volunteer role. And 20 years he's in doing global volunteers. So as you see here, I'm sure many of you are here, volunteers and AVPs. As you see here from the ladder of, so you can go into the chapter board or leadership, and not necessarily you need to become a chapter president, because not everyone will get the opportunity. But you can go into global volunteer roles, and there are many global volunteer roles, and one can go up to PMI board of director. So now these are some of global volunteers from South Asia region who represents multiple chapters. So I wanted all of you to interact with them, and then we are going to have a all hands call. Next all hands call, we are going to introduce all of them, and we just started with Kannan Ganesan in this call. Now we are going to start introducing to all the members in the subsequent call, and what is their role and how they can help their home region. Though they are global volunteers scattered through the entire globe, but how they can help more, how they can interact more with our region. So the last but not least, as a volunteer leader, what I wanted to say is volunteering is good, and good things happen when you involve with PMI and when you volunteer with PMI. With this closing note, I thank you, Mr. Kannan, for coming all the way here and doing this recording, and then wanted to share with all of you.
Thank you, Parvez. Thank you very much for the PMI Asia team to help me and provide this opportunity to interact with all of you. We look forward to work with all the sectors whenever there is a need. Any need on help with ethics, we are here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.